Super Mario Bros. Wonder looks like such a delightful game. Honestly, off the first trailer, I wasn't that impressed by it and I thought, another new Super Mario Bros. Game. Looks a little different and the art style is cool. But after this new recent Super Mario Bros. Wonder Direct, the game has interested me a lot more and I'm actually pretty excited for the game. I love all the brand new mechanics and everything that they're adding into Mario Bros. Wonder, and it really makes it feel like the next step up from the Super Mario Bros. Series, which is something that it really needed because I feel like that series has gotten really stale. I've played all of them except for New Super Mario Bros. 2 on the 3DS, and they all just kind of became samey. New Super Mario Bros. Wii U was probably my least favorite, but it was still pretty much a good game. I think all of the games are good, but Mario Wonder is what really needed to be here to separate these games to not feel like just a type of game, and instead something to truly be excited about. The biggest W here for Mario Bros. Wonder is that the game is going to be featuring online play, similarly to Mario Maker 2.
Oh yeah, oh this is what I'm talking about.
Now Mario Maker 2 was a mess from what we all remember when it came to the online play. A lot of the times it was very honestly unplayable. Super Mario Maker 2 was begged to have online play, and then when they finally added it, it was pretty awful. Not saying it's like that across the board. I'm sure there are some of you who've had great experiences with Mario Maker 2 online, playing courses with friends and whatnot. But most of the time I feel like it's a pretty unstable connection for a lot of people, and just the delay-based netcode just really didn't allow for you to truly play the game how it should be played. Delay-based netcode is something that has plagued fighting games for many years, and a lot of fighting games are dropping delay-based netcode now in favor of rollback netcode, which doesn't allow your inputs to be delayed by playing with other people. Rollback will keep it to where all of your inputs stay the same, but you may see other players roll back, and by rollback I mean you may see them teleport every now and then. But your own direct inputs will not be influenced and you can play the game the way you play it offline. Rollback netcode also just has a higher tolerance, so it's way less likely to see rollbacks compared to feeling delay in delay-based netcode. Rollbacking can really happen if the connection is very unstable to the point where you will see people roll back constantly. But like I said, the tolerance is a lot higher compared to feeling delay in a delay-based game. This matters for games like fighting games and also platformers. Platformers require your precise timing and jumps, especially for harder levels later on. Imagine doing some of those extra world challenges in delay-based netcode. It's pretty terrible. And I'm sure some of you guys have probably experienced that playing through Dolphin with another friend on an unstable connection, and probably Super Mario Bros. Wii or something like that. But basically, Super Mario Maker would have benefited heavily from having rollback connection, as it would have made playing with other people way more smooth because you don't have to really worry about what they're doing and feeling like you can't move in the game and it takes like an extra second for the stick to actually respawn. Just would have overall made it a way more fun time. But what if I said that Super Mario Bros. Wonder I think actually uses rollback netcode? And if that's the case, playing online with friends will be almost as optimal as playing right next to somebody in real life. Now I can't prove this 100%, but there is something that very heavily points towards this. So as they showed off in the recent Direct, yes, there's a whole room system where you can play with your friends and invite friends, which is pretty similar to Mario Maker 2. Now you would think, so how would this make this any different? Well, it's not. That's not actually the feature I'm talking about. The feature that maybe points towards rollback netcode is actually seeing other players in the game playing through single player. They announced a feature where you can see kind of like ghosts or just see-through figures of other players playing through the level alongside you. And usually in Mario games, these have existed in the past, but they were more so replay data of a player's inputs and playing them out through a level. But this is different. This is playing a user's inputs live while you are also playing at the same time. And you can even stop in front of people and drop emotes and trade items and whatnot. This feature alone points towards something akin to rollback netcode. Rollback netcode is just sending inputs to each person that is playing with each other, and then it plays them out. Delay based also does the same thing, but it delays the two connections so they can stay in sync. Rollback is a bit different, and I suggest watching this video right here to fully explain how rollback netcode works if you're interested in that. It's also pretty crazy because there's a lot of other players on screen at the same time, and maybe it's not to where every player is a live player, maybe it could still be past players doing things, but it seems to be like they're all live players at the same time. And if they're using this for playing with your friends in a room, then that means the whole Nintendo Online functionality thing that gets slandered all the time might be way better, starting with Super Mario Bros. Wonder. And on top of that, Nintendo has switched servers that they've been on for years. I think they've had servers that go back to the early 2000s, and they finally upgraded it starting with Splatoon 2, I believe. So this game could very much well be the start of all of Nintendo's multiplayer games just using rollback netcode, and hopefully Smash one day if they ever bring Smash Bros back, which they probably will. And this will just make for a way more beneficial online play environment. So maybe Nintendo finally fixed it and they listened to the criticism from Super Mario Maker 2. I would really love to see if rollback netcode really does get implemented in Super Mario Bros. Wonder. But this video could be entirely wrong, and they could just be sticking to delay-based netcode when it comes to playing in a room with your friends, which would be pretty disappointing. It'd be odd if they're using one system for random players to show up in your game, and then not use it for actually playing with your friends for a smooth online experience. I think that would quite suck if I'm being honest. Honestly, this feature reminds me of the Elden Ring and Dark Souls feature where you can see other players in the game and leave messages for each other. Or heck, you can even summon other players into your world in those games, and it doesn't affect the connection whatsoever. An Elden Ring, I think, literally uses rollback, and you'll see people teleport and jitter in that game if you fight them. One thing I want to say about rollback netcode though is it's not perfect. As I said, you'll probably see players jitter and lag, but it just won't affect you, and you won't be the one feeling delayed and all heavy in this terrible netcode. But again, it's not perfect. Sometimes people lag way too much, especially for fighting games, and it can make it very frustrating. But for a game like Mario, it probably won't matter as much, but it might be annoying, say like when you carry your friends in the new Super Mario Bros. Games. They could probably lag out of your hands, or you probably lag with them or teleport with them. Those are probably the instances where it'd probably be annoying. But I also think they removed the feature to bump into each other and all of that nonsense in those games. But I could be wrong on that. But I think that would probably just be the biggest downside if they don't do the rollback properly, and if it's really laggy and still a mess. But at least you won't feel delayed, and it'll be way more playable. It'll probably also be a lot more fun, considering that you can play the levels in almost any order, and you can go back and play levels that your friends haven't played and play through them, and it probably won't be as frustrating, especially if you played through some of those on your own and you're just playing to play through with your friends. But if you're going from a start to finish with your friends and it's laggy, yeah, it could still be a little annoying. But overall, I think this change is probably happening, and I really hope it does happen, as it will improve all of Nintendo games going forward if they continue to use systems like this. I just wish Smash Bros. Had it. But yeah, that's why I think Super Mario Wonder is getting rollback. If you guys agree or disagree, or think this is copium or whatever, let me know in the comments below. And like always, I'll see you in the next one.
Well, whatever happens, happens.